You're listening to Rocket Night.
Are you ready? Tonight I'm gonna take you on a little trip. We're going down south by the mighty Mississippi. I'm gonna take you to a place where lights never dim. Bring your mother, your brother, and your best friend. I'm gonna show you where they dance out in the street. They'll tell you all about your body heat. I'm not gonna talk about it, just gonna do it. Get on down if you feel up good. Get on down.
Welcome to the Rocket Night podcast. Tampa Earl hanging out with you. And today we got a really special treat, a little background here. Back in my radio days, I did a show on my broadcast called The Floyd Void. It was 3 songs from Pink Floyd, and it could last as short as 10 minutes or go as long as an hour and a half. So I have a little bit of experience with Pink Floyd. The gentleman we're about to hear from has a slew of experience with Pink Floyd. He is the bassist for the tribute band Brit Floyd. It is bassist Ian Cattell. Ian, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for coming up here, and you're coming to Florida here soon, so we're real happy about that. But one of my first questions for you would be, how did you get into the Floyd's music? I mean, have you been a long-time fan, or was it something that you said, I can do this, and you've just kind of gotten adopted into it?
Well, a little of both. I mean, when I was 10 years old, I heard The Wall on the radio for the first time, and that's what really drew me in at first. I was very much into our local radio station. I would call in often enough that the DJs would recognize my voice as a young lad calling in. I got very, very deep into Floyd then. And fast forward a number of years, I started playing bass. I went to music school for trumpet, but I started playing bass around that time, and I almost immediately got more gigs on bass than I did on trumpet. And it turned into me touring the U.S. and Canada in the mid-'90s, so 95, 96, 97, with a smaller act playing mainly bars and maybe medium-sized venues for several years. And then that's how I cut my teeth on it originally. But then fast forward to 2005, Damian Darlington, through the management at the time, contacted me to audition for the band. That was a band under a different name at the time, but it eventually became Brit Floyd in 2011.
Yeah. One of the things that has always interested me is with Pink Floyd, and you've probably seen this too with Brit Floyd, is that the fans of the band are extremely passionate. Is this something that you find when you tour around the country and around the world?
Well, they are, absolutely. I mean, we play to sometimes some very large audiences, so I mean, there's all sorts in the audience, but there is a very large percentage of them that are very passionate. They know the music very, very well, and they would. I would say that their opinions are very well informed on how a concert of Pink Floyd music should sound. So we have our work cut out for us, but I like to think that we can rise to the challenge and meet their expectations.
Well, one thing that I've noticed from looking online at some of the videos that have been put up there is that this is an all-encompassing tribute to the band. Brit Floyd does not slack off in any area. You have the visual, you have the sound. Is this something that, you guys are constantly having to refine and practice to be able to, like you said, appeal to that hardcore fan, but yet at the same time be able to entertain just the casual fan that comes along?
Well, absolutely. I mean, as far as the casual fans, I know that people come to our shows without even knowing much about Pink Floyd, and they're still entertained because there's so much going on with the lasers and the lights and the video. And I mean, what's not to like about Pink Floyd, especially when you're looking at them from the 60s up into the 90s? They have such a wide swath of musical styles in that time. So even people who are being introduced to Pink Floyd the very night they come to see us enjoy it. But we constantly update the show. We have a brand new light show, brand new laser show, all freshly programmed. And not only that, we're focusing on Dark Side of the Moon this year because of the 50th anniversary. And there's many ways you can play that. I mean, I as a rule, as a bass player and as a vocalist, where I sing the Roger Waters parts and even some of the Gilmore parts. I kind of pick and choose, within the parameters that Damien sets forth as a musical director. I pick and choose. Maybe I would go for a live sound in this one, or a bit, where Guy Pratt did an interesting thing on the bass here, or whether the Roger Waters thing was what I'm going for. But since this is a 50th anniversary, I've retooled everything to be like the studio version. And I know that we have as a band done that as well. And it's a lot of fun, rediscovering parts that I might not have played for 15 years in the exact way that I am this year. It keeps things fresh. We've updated everything top to bottom.
That seems to me to be the most difficult part, is trying to make it something that you can be fresh and original for people, like you were saying there, because Pink Floyd is such an integral part of rock and roll history. And you want to do right by them. But do you see sometimes maybe that kind of infringes on your own personal style, or do you still get your own personal effect in on that?
Yeah, well, there's certainly moments where we do our own thing. And that's not just because it just does. It happens. It just emerges. But also, it's not discouraged either. To a point. But there's those hardcore fans will come and talk to us at meet and greet or after the show or whenever, from talk about a previous show that they had seen, and they say, oh, it sounds just like the album, but they always say, the real sharp ones say, but I noticed when you put your own touch on it, and that's really great. They always appreciate that.
Right. Now, you were mentioning that you and I think Damien kind of both got into Pink Floyd because of the same album, The Wall.
Yeah.
And now that is going to be, that was released, oh God, what was it, 81, 80, 81?
78.
79, okay.
Very end of 78, I think.
Yeah.
It was very late.
Have you guys considered maybe doing something for that as its anniversary is? Let's see, do the quick math here in my head. That's a minute 45 years or so.
Yeah. We're definitely open to that sort of thing. I mean, we have focused on all the different albums over the year. We try to pick a theme for each year, and oftentimes it is focusing on a particular album. And I really do love performing all those deeper cuts on The Wall that you don't hear every year. And that's something we definitely look forward to doing.
Well, one thing that I was always interested in is that some of the fans may be interested in some of the old, the real old stuff, the Animals era and things like that. Do you get a chance to step onto those tunes?
We go all the way back to the beginning. We have two songs that we play. One is in the meet and greet, and another for the VIP visitors, and also there's one in the show that are back to the Syd Barrett era. Yeah.
Okay,
the very first and second single, I believe, are on the set list this year.
Oh, cool.
And we do play songs off of Metal, and we have in recent years played off of Obscured by Clouds, and even Amagama.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of material to pull in. I would say that since we play for somewhat larger crowds, we don't want to lose the casual fan, but we want to give the diehards something, a gem to throw in their laps.
Give them a little treat.
Absolutely. And it's fun for us too, because we don't want to just play Wish You Were Here, Uncomfortably Numb. We love playing those, but it's fun to put those gems in the set list.
Kind of sprinkle them in, yeah.
Yes.
Now, is there a particular era that you say, "Wow, that was when they were at their best"? I mean, has been the Roger Waters, The Wall style, or the earlier Syd Barrett era, or has it been since the schism in the band between Waters and the rest of the mates?
Well, I find something to like in each era, but I would say that my favorite era is from Dark Side to The Wall, but I like to stretch out in both directions, and I mean I really enjoy playing the Syd Barrett stuff. It's even challenging to figure out how to play them because with the modern recording the way it is from say Dark Side onwards, it's easier to pick out what's going on, but trying to figure out exactly how to play that stuff from the early days is a challenge and a welcome one. But I like Animals as to listen to and to play very much. It's from the vocal standpoint, the emotional, charged emotional aspect of it is great, as well as The Wall.
Yeah.
But I also like the modern stuff. I'm a fan of Guy Pratt's playing, and it gives me an opportunity to play in a different style during the show. And I even play. On this tour we're doing. What do you want from me? And I'm playing the live bass part and singing the Gilmore part over top of it. And there's a lot of things colliding in that rhythmically that weren't meant to because they were done by two different people.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful challenge. I have a lot of fun doing it.
Now, I was just looking at the schedule for Brit Floyd, and you were saying that you go from the theater size places, which you'll be playing here in Florida, here at Ruth Eckerd Hall on May 30th, but you go up to Red Rocks. I mean, you're going to do Austin City Limits. I mean, and these things are going on throughout almost the remainder of the year through August, when you're going to be playing in New York. I mean, this is a wide-ranging tour. Do you have something different in each show, or do you try to give a performance that is that people come to expect?
Well, referring back to the beginning of the interview when you're talking about the visual aspects, between all the lights and the lasers and the video, it's kind of hard to call audibles in the set list.
Okay. All right.
So we tend to stick to the set list. However, we do vary it based on time constraints, and sometimes the size of the stage doesn't allow us to do. So I do some theatrical stuff, a small amount of theatrical stuff in the show, and on some of the smaller gigs, it's harder to fit that in. So there are some changes, but we generally stick to the set list.
Well, if you're interested in trying to find out where Brit Floyd is going to go next, their website is BritFloydOfficial.com. That has a complete list of dates that they have coming up between now and the end of August. So they've got a long summer tour ahead of them. Ian is the bassist, Ian Cattell, the bassist for Brit Floyd. We really enjoyed having you in here for a moment and telling us everything about the current tour and what it means to be a part of a tribute band.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. Just one note, keep checking back on the dates because they do get updated.
Yep. As always,
there will be more coming as well.
Exactly. Once again, Brit, Ian, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're listening to Rock at Night.
The introductory song, Get On Down, is from blues artist Billy Bass Alford. Look for his music at ReverbNation.com.